Sir, I've started.
You guys are going to office?
No.
Srujan, started recording?
Just a minute, sir.
Sorry?
Yes, sir.
Vivek?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So, we'll do one thing. First, we'll finish that case study, now. Mm. Uh, what is this? Car,
Car,
motorcycle.
and
Yeah, but inside car, where is this car class? Class
yeah,
vehicle abstract. Then inside that car class, why you put abstract class vehicle?
so for car and motorcycle have the common properties, right? So For that, I have created a vehicle class, and then I have extended for both car and also motorcycle. And
Good. See, either you give the values here or you bring from main method. You already specified and again you are taking from outside. Do anyone, okay? Display, okay. Get maximum speed. Motorcycle. What is state?
the state is the second question, sir.
Mm,
Add methods to change the state of your vehicle.
mm.
So that is the exercise two.
Test car dot display car one dot states. Get maximum speed. You have done almost good, but some of the actual requirements are not there.
Okay.
The abstract method not, what is the abstract method here? Get maximum speed, but why it is abstract method? What is the reason for this?
For which one, sir?
Where you have overridden this one?
In the state.
In the state where you have overridden. It is again
Given here.
interface, right?
Yeah, and in motorcycle and car, I have overridden this.
Yeah, here also it is abstract. Here also it is abstract. Where you overridden? Where you written code?
Below, sir, on the bottom part, it's overridden. Here,
Where is that?
here, so the whole thing here.
No, start engine, stop engine, shift gear. Get maximum speed. Okay. How do you know the speed limit?
I have set it over there.
60. Motorbike also separate. Yeah, but it should be done in different way. Anyhow, it's good. Anyhow, good effort.
Okay.
But I will send you the solution.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. But anyhow, it's fine and not bad.
Okay.
Fine. And this is one of the different way. But almost 80% job is correct.
Okay, sir.
But just abstract class implementation, I will send it.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Vivek, I think you also done, right?
Yeah, I done only first part, sir.
Not all.
Not all.
Srujan? Srujan? Srujan?
I have already sent you the mail, sir. That I did
You
not
have
get
done?
that. I have some errors.
Done? Done?
I am done with the first part. Second part I did not get it.
You also only first part. Okay, no problem, guys. I will do one thing. I will send the solution today. Just go through. If you have any doubts, we'll discuss it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good, Chandra. Fantastic job. Right. So let us discuss servlet introduction today. What is a servlet, guys? Do you know anyone? Hello?
Yeah, sir.
What is a servlet?
I just had an overview which states that used to for web applications.
Mhm. See, servlet is nothing but it's a server-side Java program. Simple. What is this? Server-side
Java.
Java program. Hmm? Hmm. So, what do you mean by server-side Java program? See, in the normal programs, what we done so far, it's a client-side program which will store in client system and he will work on. But server-side means will reside in the server and number of clients will accept it. That is the difference. Okay. In the client-side program, main method will be there. In the client-side program, main method will be there. The server-side program, no main method will be there. Some lifecycle methods will be there. Okay. Understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
That is a major difference. And other thing is, generally, why do we need server-side program? So some client make a request with some username and password, for example, okay, to the server. Then how does the server will check the credentials and do the process? Server does not do anything. Server cannot do anything. Understand? But there should be some program which can perform these kind of tasks. That is the reason why we are keeping the server side Java program, which will take care of handling all this stuff. Understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting a point? To process the client's request, the servlet is required in the server. Understand? How it will be processed? See, when client make a request in the Tomcat server, see why the Tomcat server? In Java, the server we use is Tomcat server. Apache Software Foundation is called as web server. This is called as what? Web server. That is Tomcat server. Understand? So this is a software. What is this? It's a software only, hmm? which will handle the client's request. And how this Tomcat server software will handle the request? By using a servlet container. By using what?
Servlet
Servlet
container.
container.
A servlet container. Yeah. Inside the server, we have to deploy the application, web application. See, this is the web application. What do you mean by web application? We don't call a program because web applications contains multiple web resources. In a web application, we can have servlet, we can have JSP, we can have HTML, image, JavaScript, lot of things will involve, right? Understand? So combination of all these is called as Java based web application. Because there is not one program, right? Multiple programs are there, right? Okay, now?
Yes.
So minimum requirement to develop a web application in Java is servlet program and HTML program, guys. Do you know HTML?
Yes, sir.
Chandra? Do you know HTML?
Yes, sir.
Sujan? Srujan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. I need anchor tag, I need form tag, I need the input text boxes. If you have any doubts, go through W3 schools and complete this, okay?
Yes, sir.
So we'll design the HTML pages here. Right. So that is the main reason. See, you can see Tomcat is a used for Java based web application. It is called as what? Web server, which
Yeah.
contains what? Servlet container. It contains what? Tomcat contains what? Servlet container. Servlet container which will make lot of things here. You see? The servlet container actually the component which will take care of the life cycle of web application. Means whenever a client make a request, web container what it will do? It will create a thread first and assign the job to the request. As well as it will create a request and response objects. Understand? The job of servlet container is what inside server? Whenever a client make a request to this current web application servlet, it will make a thread. If 3 clients are making request, it will create how many threads? 3 threads.
Threads.
Understand? It creates 3 threads.
Okay.
So each thread can carry its own work, task. And along with that, it will create a request and response objects, guys. Request object, response object. Request object, response object for every request. Why? Because if client send any data, the HTTP servlet will see that this servlet is called as HTTP, means it will the data from the internet comes through HTTP protocols. Do you know that? Over the network, the data will be transferred through HTTP protocols, which is the network protocols, right? But
Yes.
data from the HTTP protocols directly cannot be read by Java program. Java needs only the help of objects. Java can read objects, Java can give objects, but Java other than objects cannot read any other concept. Understand?
Yes.
That is the reason. That is the reason the request and response objects are created by servlet container. And whatever the data is coming from client will be filled inside the request object. Understand? The data coming from the client's HTTP protocols, data will be converted into request object. Understand? So that it is very easy for servlet to read the data from request object. Why the servlet is preparing response object again? Okay? Because servlet has to give the response back, right? Output. Hello?
Yes, sir.
The servlet has to give the response output back. How it will give? In the form of an object only, na? When it receives data in the form of object, again it has to give the data also in the form of object. That's why container prepares 2 objects, request and response. Both objects are prepared by container only and it will be given to the servlet object. Then servlet will extract the data from request and process it and find the solution. Then output of the solution will be packed to the response object and given to the container again. The container will convert the response object output into HTTP response and gives to the client. Done. This is the process will happen every time when a client make a request. Understand? So we'll see how can we prepare servlet. These are the functionalities are available. And before that, let us see what is the exact life cycle. You can see. As I told you, servlet does not prepared by using main method, guys. Okay? Any server side program does not contain main method. It contains what? Some lifecycle methods. Servlet contains what? Lifecycle methods. What do you mean by lifecycle methods? Whenever client make a request, container will execute a service method. See, if you observe our threads, in the threads concept, there are some lifecycle methods: start, run, destroy, stop. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay or not?
Yes, sir.
So when you run the start method, based on the situation, run method automatically called, right?
Yeah.
When the servlet has to, when the thread has to stop, automatically you can invoke the stop method. And when the thread is going to destroy, automatically the destroy method is called. So based on the situation, all the methods are called, right?
Yes.
Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
So that's why they are called as lifecycle methods. Here also, whenever a client make a request, the container automatically calls the service method. Which method? Service method. And if it is required, service method will call do get or do post method. So all these methods are called as lifecycle methods for the servlet. Means you have to write the code among one of these methods like service, do get and all. And there is a init method also, destroy method also, like thread. These are called as lifecycle methods of servlet. Understand? So we have to prepare servlet according to this. And how the servlet can be created. See, if you remember guys, how can we create a thread? How can we create a thread?
By defining it.
Tell me, how can you create thread? Forgot?
No.
Chandra? Srujan? How can we create thread? I think there are two approaches to create thread, right?
By implementing the runnable method and
Yes. Another one?
by
Extends.
Extends run thread,
Multiple
right?
inheritance.
yeah,
Yeah.
And what you have to do after that? You have to override the run method.
run method. Yeah.
You have to override the
Run
run method.
method.
It's a life cycle method. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. Here also, if you want to create a servlet, there are three approaches. Anyhow, the first one is completely interface. You don't need to worry about it because this interface already implemented into generic servlet. See, this servlet interface contains these all methods: init, destroy, service, servlet info, get servlet info, all. Okay. So if you want to inherit this interface, you have to override all the methods, right? All abstract now.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult. Better you do one thing, you go to generic servlet. Second approach. Generic servlet implements servlet interface, guys. Generic servlet enti implements
Yes, sir.
servlet interface already. It is a subclass of servlet interface. Okay.
Yeah.
So in generic servlet, already all the methods are overridden. You don't need to worry about all the methods, but except one service method. The service method is still abstract, you see. Means if you inherit in your Java class the generic servlet, what is your responsibility among all the methods? You have to override service method. It is mandatory, right? Like in
Yeah.
thread run method will override, na?
Yes.
Here we override the service method. That is our responsibility. You see, I told you that two objects will be given to the servlet, na? What is the object? Servlet request and servlet response. So your service method should be ready to receive those objects which are given by the container, na?
Yeah.
There are two parameters. In main method, we have one parameter, which is receive string, right?
Yes.
Likewise, we have two parameters, request and response objects. Then
Yes.
the third approach is what? HTTP servlet. This is another subclass for generic servlet. Means servlet interface, generic servlet class, all properties are available in HTTP servlet. As well as some new properties are there, that is do get and do post, do put, do delete, all methods. Among those, do get and do post are most important, that we use frequently. So you can use any of the service methods, all, as well as you can use do get or do post. We'll see what is the do get and do post exactly. Okay. So this is the latest one, HTTP protocols. It handles HTTP protocols. Understand?
Yeah.
So there are 2-3 approaches to create thread, and there is another concept called web.xml, guys. This is a mapping file. We call it as what? Mapping file for client's URL pattern to servlet. Means what? Client, when making a request to a servlet, he will not directly give the servlet name. He don't make a request with a direct class name. Understand? Client make a request with a URL pattern. You can simply call that URL pattern as a hint value. What? Hint value. Yeah, he'll make a request with a hint value, and through that hint value, the web container will search for the corresponding servlet. So these are the common tags we use in web.xml, and you can see this is the URL pattern which will search in web.xml. So if the client given URL pattern matches here, it will collect the servlet name. Okay. This name we have to give, and make sure that the same name should be available in the servlet tag. See the mapping tag and servlet section. In the mapping section, it will collect the servlet name, and the same name should be available in the servlet section, servlet name. If it is matching, servlet will go here and it will execute under given servlet class. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. This is the way how the servlet will find out your servlet for your given URL pattern. Understand?
Yes.
Right. So for this, we need to write this web.xml. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Do you have Tomcat software?
No, sir.
Do you have Tomcat software? I'll tell you how to download. Are you ready with JDBC? Na? There is no problem. You could install Oracle on all your systems.
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
I actually asked my friend for a laptop. He
Oh,
said,
you are still
more.
looking for a laptop, man.
Yeah.
Make it hurry, guys.
Yeah, yes.
See, it will be difficult. See, Apache Tomcat downloads based on your requirement. Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 64-bit, Windows 32-bit. Just downloads. Just take the first one, the Tomcat, Apache Tomcat. In this, you search for zip file. Okay?
Yes.
This one or this one. Download it. Zip, I think this 32-bit Windows zip. This is the one. See, after download this, you extract the folder and keep it on desktop, guys. Okay? Hello?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Did you find out what I told? How to configure?
Yes.
Okay. And if you want to check, double click and go. Make sure that the port number should not be 8085. You change it to 8080. You change it to 8085 or 8081. Save it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then if you right click and run the server, it will start. If any error, you have to rectify it. That I will tell you how to. See, this external server is turning on. That's why. Now run it. It will work. See, started. It is giving what? Started, right?
Yeah.
That you have to keep on remember. Okay. Anyhow, guys, so you download and set your, make sure that your Eclipse is JW and attach the server and check whether it is working or not. After that, you be ready. So we'll continue the session, and I will also explain the application. I will send this file. Just go through once, and if you have any doubts, we'll discuss. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
And tomorrow is Sunday. You know we don't have class.
Yeah.
Monday will continue. The Monday also same time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Right. And if you have any previous pending work, you can continue.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I will send the solution. Just go through that.
Okay, sir.
Bye guys. Bye.